Hey there, my name's Sammy. I'm just doing a quick review of the VR app called Steps of Privilege. This would be under a DEI focused behavioral health kind of category for VR apps. And so I'm just going to talk through some playthrough notes. So this experience in total takes around 20 minutes to complete. It really does depend on how much of the material that you dive into in depth. And so let me just talk through the experience. The user is placed in kind of an open conference room with around 8 other avatar characters. And before being placed with these characters, you are asked a couple demographic questions. And you're also asked to kind of rate your own privilege, your own perception of your privilege. And so once you answer those questions and you're placed into this conference room, there's a facilitator who goes through some very, very clear instructions all throughout the experience to kind of guide the user through the experience. And I do want to make note that even though this app is called Steps of Privilege, the users do have the opportunity to select whether they would like to participate either standing up or sitting down in place. So it's very accessible in that way. So everyone in the room, once we kind of establish all the different identities of oneself by answering some various questions, everyone in the room, several avatars plus the user, go around and introduce themselves briefly. And then the facilitator then asks a number of questions, and the user indicates whether they would step forward, whether they would stay in place, or whether they would step back according to their answer to the question. And again, the instructions are very clear and given by the facilitator. I also want to just note one more time that movement is not required for this. So you're more than welcome to kind of point to whether or not you would step forward, stay, or step back, or you can actually take part in that movement. A couple times throughout this experience, the facilitator encourages the user to kind of stop and look around and see where everyone is standing around them in comparison to themselves. And after all of the questions have been asked, the user is encouraged to point to each avatar in the room and to click to hear more of their story and what's contributed to their answers to the questions posed. And then after that part in the experience, then the user is taken to, again, the front of the room, and they are looking at several orbs, and they are asked to click on these orbs. And what these orbs are recordings of actual previous participants of this experience, where participants are kind of reflecting on their own experience with this app and the practical ways that they could use this experience to promote justice and equity in their own spheres of influence. So the user is also then given the option to record their own message and become an orb themselves, talking through how they plan to move forward in more just and equitable ways. And so I did want to make note here that the user is never given a specific like privilege rating by anything with the app of any kind. However, they are asked, again, several demographic questions as well as to rate their own privilege or the perception of their own privilege. So due to the nature of many of the questions that are asked, this exercise doesn't seem as applicable to children or youth. The other avatars in the experience were certainly providing adult stories, at least being 18 years of age or older. I do want to make note that the graphics, while they weren't, hyper realistic, I really did enjoy the music that played throughout the entire experience, and the app worked well without a glitch from start to finish. The narration of the various characters was also well done. So this has just been a quick review of the app Steps of Privilege. Thanks.